Yeah.
Pilot. Do you know how long ago that was? It was
21 years ago?
21 years ago, which makes me like 23. That's right, that's right. So how you guys doing today? Yeah! McAllen, Texas is in the house. What's up, yo? Yeah! Now, were you all born and raised here in McAllen, Texas?
No.
How many schools are there in McAllen?
High schools? Three.
3 high schools.
3 high schools.
Makai, Nicky Road, and
Memorial.
All right.
Makai is the longest from 1908. Well, 1913 I was...
I went to Sherryland.
Oh, all right. Sherryland. That sounds like a fun place to be. Sherryland. That sounds like a... Do they have roller coasters there? Sherryland.
Oh.
It's like there's Disneyland, there's Sherryland. All right, so you know who I am. My name is Walter Emmanuel Jones. Hey, my mother gave me that name. She did. She wanted to name me Antoine Marquise. My dad's name is Walter Emmanuel Jones, so I ended up, you know, they named me after
Junior.
I do. I look like my dad, but he's a little taller than me. He's taller than me and older than me. Yeah, which is good, because if he wasn't, that would be weird. No, so I'm born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I left Detroit because I got a scholarship to go to college in California. So I went to California, and I was like, wow, this place is different. There's mountains. You know, Detroit is a predominantly black city, predominantly black. So when I got to California, I understood why they called me a minority. I was like, where are a lot of black people? Okay, and so it was interesting. I got up there and I went to college, and then I went to Hollywood, and the first television show job I booked was the Power Rangers. So, fortunate for me, and you know, it's funny because we did the pilot, and I took it home to my family, you know, went home. I was like, yeah, I booked a TV show, 40 episodes, I'm a superhero, you know, it's cool, you know. And then I saw the pilot, and I was like, okay, well, I guess this is cool. I took it home and I showed it to my family, and they were like, that's a nice show. You know, it's a nice stepping stone for you. That'll be good. It's, you know, it's gonna help you on your way. And all of a sudden, like a year later, the show came out, and the toys were selling off the shelves, and it was the #1 kids show in the world, in 40 countries around the world. And then they were like, "That's my cousin. Yeah, that's my nephew. That's right. That's my son right there. You know, he's the Power Ranger. Yeah. The Black Ranger. That's who he is. Yeah, that's Zach. That's it. That's what they call him." And it was awesome. It was like, wow, everybody was so excited, and I couldn't go to the bathroom anymore because people were like, "Yo, Zach!" I was like, "Man, put that away." Crazy. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, the Power Rangers was a pretty amazing experience for me because, you know, I'm a friendly person anyway. I like people. I like talking to people. I like making people laugh. I'm energetic and bouncy. Hey. And I, you know, if you make somebody smile, it makes you smile. So I enjoy making people smile, and I've always been kind of like the class clown. So, you know, Power Rangers for me turned into this amazing thing, because it was like, wow, so now I can be me and make people 3 times as happy, because, you know, they meet me and they're like, "Hey, excuse me, Mr. Jones." And I'm like, "What's up, man? You're cool." You know, and I'm like, that's awesome. It makes me happy to be able to make other people happy with so little effort. You know, it's like, I feel the fame for me feels like popularity in a way. I mean, like, it feels like I can go anywhere and I'll know somebody, or somebody's gonna know me. You know, right? Somebody's gonna be like, "Dude, you know, hey, I got you. Come here. Come over here, man. I want to introduce you." So I'm going to meet people wherever I go, which is cool. And it's nice. For a minute, it got a little overwhelming. I think when the show first came out, it was too much. You guys, parents, were crazy. Just like, you know, because maybe some of you guys are parents now, and if you're a parent, then you know that you will do almost anything for your child. Now, imagine, if you will, that your son or your daughter is going, "I have to have a Power Ranger job. I want the Megazord. I want a Power Ranger, right? They're excited about it. They have to have one. They have to have one. And you go to the store and you wait 3 hours and they sell out. and you can't get it. And you're like, you gotta go home, and your son's like, you went to Toys R Us, and you come home with a Power Ranger, and you're like, they sold out. And you're like, he's like, I hate you. So your parents were crazy. Your parents were like, when they saw me, they went off. They were like, you, come here, come, I need you. You have to sign 8 autographs for my nieces and my nephews, and I have 2 cousins, the neighbor's niece, so hey. And I was like, wow, okay. And then, like, so I'd go to have dinner, and I would have a line of people, like 20 people waiting for me to finish my burger. Like, hey, Zach, after you finish that bite, can I get an autograph? Man, I just need, my son, I gotta get something for my son. So I was like, for a little while, I became a little reclusive. I was like, okay, I started wearing hats and the dark glasses. I was like, okay, don't look at me, don't look at me. It was weird. Well, I still get recognized daily, but it's not anywhere like it used to be. Like I said, your parents were crazy because they needed to be. They were like, they couldn't get the toys, they had to do something, and if they saw me, they were crazy. I had parents come over, at the time I was dating a girl, and like we would walk into a spot, I'm holding onto her hand, and the girl's all cute and cuddly, and I had a mother come over and snatch my hand out of her, push her out of the way, and go, come over here, I gotta get a picture. And I'm like, hey, I'm living my life right here, what are you doing? I like her. What are you doing? Slowly roll, but now it's amazing because you guys are the kids, and you've grown up. And it's awesome because it's a different kind of love. It's not manic and crazy like, oh, I have to do it, I have to do it. It's like, it's so respectful, it's so nice. You guys are like, man, you don't know what you did for me in my life. You don't know how you inspired me to dance or to be a martial artist or the things I learned from the show. Like I learned all these different lessons and I followed that. I became a Marine or I became a scientist or I became, I met a guy that was a rocket engineer. He's like, I'm a rocket engineer because of you and Billy. I'm like, that's cool. How did that work? I don't know. I understand Billy, but where does that get you into the, but it's still cool. It's like just to be positive in anybody's life and is amazing.
The hip-hop version.
People ask us all the time, what is like what is like the coolest experience you've had? It's one of the most common questions we get, like, what's the feeling like? What is one of the things you can say that was awesome about it? And we've done a number of appearances where we go and we meet people, but one of the things we did that was really, really cool is we went and did a charity called Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's for terminally ill children, okay? And we went to this hospital, all the Rangers, and there were kids, cancer, burns over 90% of their body. They're waking up every day in pain, they're suffering through chemotherapy. They're not happy kids. They're kids and they're trying to get through stuff, but they're having a really hard time. And we went to a hospital and the nurses took us to this one room and they were like, this is, I can't remember his name, but this kid, he's got burns all over his body. He was in an accident, he was burned over his body, and every day is painful for him because he wakes up every day and he's in pain and he just gets through the day, but he hasn't smiled since he's been here. And we were like, okay, well, cool, let's go meet him. And he's like, one of his wishes is to meet the Power Rangers. So we go into the room, and he's like kind of sleeping, and they touch him, they wake him up. Hey, we got a surprise for you. And he looks over and he sees us, and the biggest smile comes across his face. And that sticks with me as like one of the most amazing gifts. You know what I mean? It's like we didn't have to do anything. We just had to like sit there and like hold our helmets and look at him and go, hey. And he was like, it made him happy. And if we can do that, to be able to do that for a moment in his life when he's going through such a hard time is amazing to me. And that's one of the biggest gifts that this show has given to me. I mean, here we are 21 years later, and I'm only 23. And, and we still got so much love. I mean, here I am in McAllen, Texas. I never knew I was going to it's awesome and exciting, and I'm glad to be here. So, with all that being said, if you have any questions, please step up to the mic. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
My name is Fidencio Barrera.
Ah, say that again.
Fidencio Barrera.
Now say it 3 times.
Fidencio Barrera, Fidencio Barrera, Fidencio Barrera.
You're a better man than me.
I have actually 2 questions.
All right.
The first one is, I've asked this to David Yost and
Kath.
Catherine something? Okay.
yeah. I have to say, did you watch the Sentai version of Power Rangers, which is Koryu Sentai's Zyuranger?
Wow, he's really good with accents. I did not. Okay, so the thing about it is I never knew about Power Rangers before we got into the show. So I didn't know what it was. It was called Dino Thunder at the time. It's Dino Rangers or Dino Thunder or something. And that was what they titled the show. I didn't know this show had run for 20 years in Japan before I come here. We learned after we booked the show, we had filmed it, that there was a show before us, and it was based off the Japanese show. We knew that Saban had taken half of it. He bought the show in Japan, and he was taking half of the show from Japan and mixing it with half of the show we were shooting in the States to combine it to one show. It was like, wow, that was really smart of him to do. You know, because now he's bought the show, he only has to shoot half the footage, and you know, it's interesting. I think they showed us an episode or a bit of it somewhere in the first season or right before the first season. That was all that I ever saw, and I haven't really sought it out to see it anymore after the fact. But what I understand is that the Japanese version is crazy. Like, they do some wild stuff. Like I heard there was one episode where one of the monsters actually pees on the Rangers, which is different. That's different. I don't think I want to be in that episode. I'm like, can I pass on this?
It's actually well known that in
Wrong website.
and actually it's well known that in one of the previous season, Sentai seasons called Battle Fever J,
Yes.
the Black Ranger known as Battle Cossack was killed.
Oh, dang. I wasn't in that episode.
And the first Pink Ranger, Miss America, was injured so badly she had to be retired and a new one had to be brought in.
See, they're hardcore in Japan. They're like, get him out of here!
Now the second question, were there any difficulties in filming the cockpit scenes?
We did not do many of the cockpit scenes. It wasn't difficult, by the way.
Oh, well.
Movie magic. All right, so this is my dinosaur, right? I'm in the Mastodon right now. They're filming it. Ready, action. Zach here, ready to rock. Cut. It wasn't difficult. We're just basically in a box, in a room or whatever, with a seat and a desk, and it's covered and painted to look like we're in the Zord. But, you know, it would have been really cool to actually be in a Zord. I'd have been like, man, I'm in the Mastodon right now, what? Man, look at that. People look really small. Don't step on them.
Thank you very much.
All right, man, thank you. Hi.
Hi.
I saw you earlier.
I was asking a question. I wanted to ask about Richard.
Yes.
I met him before. He's really funny. Like whenever he's doing a panel or he's talking to people, he's like really funny. It's just like you're really entertaining. Some people they're really boring panels, but like you like and Richard are like really entertaining and fun. So it's
Richard who?
like Alpha.
Oh, Alpha, yes.
Was he like fun to work with?
Oh yeah. He's great. I mean, he's a very funny guy, and the voice of Alpha, we didn't see him that much because while we were filming on the set, filming the live action stuff, he's upstairs in the booth, not with us, doing the voice, and he's only voiceover. You don't have to work as hard, meaning.
He was never in the suit.
He's never in the suit, no. There was a woman, there was a girl named, 2 girls in the Alpha 5 suit. One, her name was Romy Sharp, and she had big boobs. I just remember that. The reason, not only because I like boobs, but because she had to take ace bandages and strap them down so she could get in the suit. So it was like, she was not very comfortable. And we're in the command center all day, and she'd be like, can I take a break? You know? But she was a really sweet girl, very tiny, and yeah, she wasn't doing the voice. In fact, when we did the command center scenes, and Alpha 5 had to speak, it came from off the side, off by the script supervisor. She would just read the line. Because the actor in the suit didn't know. Well, they didn't say the lines, or they would say the lines, but it was more about the physicality. You know, we're gonna do Alpha 5 does this, and you know, whatever things like that. But Richard's very funny. I got to know him a lot more now than I did then because we didn't really see them. We weren't working in the same.